Jump off that exhausting hamster wheel and into balanced living with Dr. Marissa.
Promise you joy in the mystery.
Dr. Marissa, also known as the Asian Oprah. Her mission, to be a beneficial presence on the planet. Her purpose, to be your personal advocate to live, laugh, love, learn. Her life motto, don't die wondering. Take back your life with Dr. Marissa Pei.
And welcome. You're tuned in to Take My Advice. I'm not using it. Get Balanced with Dr. Marissa, the morning show here on KCAA, NBC News Radio, CNBC News Radio, and NBC Sports Station at AM 1050, FM 106.5, and streaming everywhere. iHeartRadio, Spotify, Stitcher, iTunes, TuneIn, Audible, Amazon Music, Tiki Live, Rumble, Podchaser, Streaker, Spreaker, and more. Why so many places? Well, I want to balance out all that bad news with some good news instead of all of these negative stories that make you go, what's wrong with people? Instead, I want you to say, what's right with the world, what's right with me, and what's right with you. And that's why I've been on for the past 695 consecutive weeks now. We are on podcast 1,457. But who's counting over the past, how many years now? Over 13 years. And gosh, we're almost on 13 and a half. That went really fast. But I'm still here. I'm so glad the people who said I wouldn't last a year are dead. No, I'm just kidding. That they were wrong. I am so delighted not only to bring you guests and topics. I have also special series. And today, as you can tell, in studio, we have the fabulous Dr. Tiffanie Tate, who is a U.S. veteran, Navy veteran. She's a poet, playwright, singer, songwriter, and children's book author, poetry book author, you name it, she's done it. Please welcome back to my studio, Dr. Tiffanie Tate for Doctors in the House with myself and
Dr. Tiffanie Tate.
How are you, darling?
I am good because it's Wednesday and I get to start my day with you.
Yeah. And we're going to go right into breakfast, which y'all know is take a bite of my gratitude sandwich, which means top of the bun, things you're grateful for that are outside of yourself, bottom of the bun, things that you're grateful for inside of yourself. And that's what we want to model for you to do before you go to bed tonight. So you're not thinking about what's wrong with me, instead what's right with me, and exercise that muscle of what you're good at. But let's start with outside. Dr. Tiffanie, what are you grateful for?
I am grateful for the fact that we had our Notes of Progress fundraiser, my campaign, this past weekend, and Nathaniel, Mia, and their friend Belle performed for me. I loved the fact that they showed up and showed out, and the people came and they really thoroughly enjoyed themselves. They listened to my platform, but they loved my children and they showed love for Belle, who is like my, we just suck people up into my family. And so she is my bonus child. And I just love the fact that their music was beautiful. They loved Mia's voice. They loved Nathaniel and Belle's performance. And it was just all beautiful in the name of beauty and music.
Aw, I know. I would have been there if I could have been there. I love to hear Mia sing. She's like amazing, but I'm glad that went well. I am grateful for, let's see, I get to go to a fashion show tonight in Malibu. Part of my, it's nice being, who would have thought that I would be called an influencer? Like that word that what didn't exist, right, in our ageless generation. And then a YouTuber on top of that, because words got out that I have 3.99 million impressions now on my YouTube TV channel. Thanks to all of you for that. Couldn't have done it without you. And if you want to push me over to the 4, just free subscribe and give me the finger. I forgot to say that at the top of the show. But I'm grateful that I get to go to fun things, even though I'm not traveling and not in Africa, but I am still here enjoying and allowed to, I can still drive, can't fly, but I can still drive. And I appreciate that.
Okay. And I am grateful because, I do water aerobics, and I had a chance to talk about silence again, because I'm always talking about just different things when we get into the jacuzzi after water aerobics. And the instructor had a chance to watch the show, and he was telling everybody how great the show was. And he shared, yes, he
Oh,
shared the YouTube, and he was like, Tiff, I loved it. And I was telling my wife, and I practiced it with my wife. And he was sharing it with some of the other people, and he was quizzing people on it. He was like, what's that one? What's that one? And I was like, yo, it's the acquiescent silence. And so he was going over, he was like, did you know that there's 5 types of silence? And it was kind of like a little mini quiz in the jacuzzi. And just a fun time. And so people are like, can you send it to me? Can you send me the show? Can you send me the show? And so it was really fun. And we just had a good time talking about the show. They're usually in the pool because it's 5 days a week from 9 to 10. And so I said, okay, I will send you the show. You can subscribe, and then you can also watch it on YouTube. You can watch it on your Apple subscriptions as well. And I was just telling them how they can access the show because they're in the pool during the live shows. And it was just a good time, just helping to keep them informed about the show.
yay. That's fabulous. I like that. I am grateful that I made the cover of a magazine in Spain yesterday. So I'll put that out on social today. I'm just looking for it now. I can't. I've never been called draw before. Do you know what that is? Do you speak?
Oh.
Okay. So the title of DRA, right? Draw. It sounds like Dracula, but apparently that's doctor, like you would be draw Tiffanie Tate, right? International press. And it's La Dra Marissa Pei es psicóloga organizacional, autora y periodista, una figura whatever.
Nice. I know doctora for Spanish. I can do the Spanish, but not that.
Yeah, so that's super, hats off to Juan, my new publicist. I've never had a publicist before, and he definitely has gotten many more eyeballs on me, which I appreciate. So I'm grateful for Juan and the Spanish publication.
So you're going virtually around the world, although you're not going physically around the world. Your
Thank you.
virtual tour.
Yes. Thanks for trying to make me feel better.
Yes. I'm going to find the positive in everything. It's what I
yes.
do.
And normally I do, but a friend of mine was reminding me that the levels of not loss, but the levels of unplanned and taken away is so complex and layered, mom passing, moving, world tour, blood clots, just like there's so many levels of it that I can't expect myself to get over it and look at the positive, like do a bypass of the pain. So I don't cry every day anymore, but I definitely, there's moments where I let myself feel sad
Some joy. Yes.
about it. So
Yeah, it's a process. You have to go, it's the journey of life. It's the roller coaster of life, and you have to go experience the lows for you to experience the highs. And you do it. You bounce. You go down before you go up. You go
yep,
down before you go up. It's the
yep,
lows of life.
yeah. And I have gotten a lot of love from people who appreciate me living my life out loud and watching how I, move through this stuff and model it for. And so I appreciate that too. I'm so grateful. I'll just add for this show. I know it sounds
Mhm.
self-serving, but I love the fact that I have a platform that keeps me practicing what I teach most of the time, even though the name of the show is Take My Advice. I'm not using it. I do use it 88% of the time. And it's first thing in the morning. So I don't have a choice of staying in my stew, my
Mhm.
poor me stew, for very long. So
Absolutely.
one more gratitude.
And we started the day, and I say we, my sorority sisters and I, with prayer. That's what we do on Wednesdays, well, Wednesdays and Saturdays, at communal prayer. And I am thankful for that because it helps you reflect on what's going on, not just in your life, but in the lives of your fellow man. And there's so much. I always say we're living in the upside down right now because we are. And I'm thankful for that because I find that it really prepares me for life, especially the day, and it really encourages me. So I am thankful for that communal prayer that I get to start my Wednesday morning with.
Awesome. All right, let's go to the bottom of the bun, which is what do you like about yourself? What are you grateful for? That's a quality inside of you that maybe you don't think about, or you're always looking for that flaw in yourself. And this exercise, this hashtag discipline good life habit, is to encourage us to overcome that critical voice that says you're really not all that, you're not worthy, you're not good enough, which is bullshit-talky, BS, belief systems that maybe were put on you, like it was on me, 7 out of 10 of us, that we didn't deserve that when we were kids, but and that was not our fault that it was happening, but it is our responsibility to exercise our way out of that BS in our present so we don't spew it into our future. So that's what this exercise is about. So, what do I like about myself? I don't have one right away. So, Dr. Tiffany, go first.
I like the fact that I am organizing my last reunion for this year. Woo 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 woo.
Wait, wait, wait. Another reunion?
Yes, because remember, there's my mom's side and my dad's side. So I did my dad's side in Vegas. That was the 3-day
I
reunion where
remember
there was a
that.
Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Well, now this is my mom T side, my mom's side. And
Oh,
so I have that reunion this weekend. And
oh,
so I am happy. Yes, reunion queen in the house. And so I am doing my last reunion. Yes, I am the organizer extraordinaire. I bring people together. I am the unifier. I am the leader. So they look to me to put the stuff together. So I am about to have my last reunion of the year under my belt. I am thankful. I am happy. Can you tell it in my voice, people? Yes. Yes.
I wonder if there's a Guinness World Record for the reunion planning. You definitely would win that one.
Yes. I probably would.
Well, I appreciate my ability to enjoy really good food. I am a foodie inside out. Um, my dad used to call me a banana because I'm yellow on the outside, even though I don't like that color. I'm going to call it golden, Asian golden instead of yellow. I'm white on the inside. I was born in Canada. I have a lot of, uh, American ideas, but the very center of me is yellow, which are my Chinese or any kind of good food, Asian food appetite. So I appreciate that I know how to love the taste, texture of food. And I brought this up because if you have not tried Dr. Tiffany's peach cobbler, you are missing something. And I'll guess you, I'll bet, well, maybe I won't. I'll bet $1 that you are going to make peach cobbler for the reunion. I was
That
going to
would be
say
correct.
$1,000, but I remembered after you were asked to do stuff, we did a topic about when to stop saying yes to stuff. So I didn't want to bet $1,000 because this may have been the time you said, I'm not doing that. I'm already doing everything else.
No, I was voluntold.
I can remember that.
Yes,
Voluntold.
I
Okay.
was voluntold. So yes, I will be making peach cobbler. And since we have like 200 people coming, yes, yeah, I'll be making a couple. And it's funny because a couple of people had watched the show, and when they came to the concert, they were like, "No peach cobbler?" I said, "No, not for this." I said, "We had too many other things going on for me to make it for the concert. But when you come to a party, it'll be at the party." So
Yeah. I actually had the peach cobbler for my birthday.
yes,
Yeah.
yes. So now people are requesting the peach cobbler. Yes, yes, yes. So, yeah. But yeah, so I'm thankful for that. And I'm thankful that I am a good baker. I and it's something I do enjoy doing. It relieves my stress, but I haven't been stressed lately. But it is something that I do enjoy doing. I love to bake when I have time to bake, and I am thankful for my baking skills.
Yes. And someone threw you a heart on that. I'm guessing they want some peach cobbler. All right. Enough of that. Let's get to the topic of the day. But thank you first for joining us for breakfast. I see eyeballs rolling in. We love it when you are active in my cashew gallery versus peanut gallery. I just can't do anything normal. But don't do it if you're driving and tuned in on the AM 1050 FM 106.5 side. Wait till you get somewhere where you can use your hands safely. And certainly use the chat to say hello, to order your peach cobbler. I'm going to make you set up a business for that, and anything else good. But thank you for joining us for breakfast. If you practice this good life habit, this hashtag discipline for 28, 21, or 30 days, however long you believe takes to make a good habit, I promise you will sandwich your day in the most positive way. Thanks for joining us for breakfast. And now for the topic of the day, Dr. Tiffany, it is.
Really?
Hey, you! Hey! Hey, you!
I
Go
love
ahead.
that.
What is the topic?
Jealousy. Mm.
Jealousy. Oh, no, that's honesty. Um, we went from honesty last week to jealousy this week. The question of the week is, are you green with envy? And usually I ask Dr. Tiffany why she chose this particular topic, but today,
Dr. Marissa chose the topic.
so ask me.
Dr. Marissa, why did you choose this topic?
Well, a few things. One is when people are nasty to you or talk behind your back, or you hear that something unkind was said about you, and people will say, oh, they're just jealous, right?
Mhm.
And I just wanted to deconstruct that and take a wider look at that, because it's not, the word association, jealousy, wife jealous of the attention the husband gets, or vice versa, right? Jealousy, someone does really well. And then here's the big one that I want to talk about is, what is it about humankind that's not kind, where you watch someone do well and your first response is, oh yay, and then it's like if something bad happens, you're almost like secretly happy that they failed or they fell or they lost. Like, what is that? A part of us, and I'll admit, I've had those feelings. And then I was told that if I can wish success and good things happening on other people and celebrate their success, then more success will come to me. But as long as I withhold the wishes of success for others, then I withhold that goodness from myself. So that's why I picked the topic. There's lots of, little inroads and paths we can talk about there. But I can't think of a better person to sort of talk about this with, is because both of us have accomplishments under our belt. We are multi-hyphenates. Therefore, we, have our toes dipped in many arenas. And we also, I don't know about you, I get the more out I am, not out, but in front I am, the more it seems there is that critical nastiness or people saying stuff, to the point where if someone says to me, do you want to know what I heard about you? I'll say, is it positive or negative? And they'll say negative, and I'll say, thank you very much, I don't need to know. And people go, well, it might be really good criticism or something you can improve on. And it's like, no, if that person wants to provide some constructive criticism to me, they can give it to me directly. I certainly don't want to hear it through other places. And then I default to, if you don't have anything nice to say, don't say
anything. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So there it is. I'm going to let you now, but I otherwise I was going to forget all the reasons why I picked this topic.
Yeah. And it's interesting. I liked the fact when you started about jealousy and envy. And it's interesting because we often use them interchangeably, but they're quite distinctive. And the words are common, but envy is more so a discontent or longing for someone else's advantages. But jealousy is more so an unpleasant suspicion or apprehension or rivalship. And so that's a good distinction between the two, but we often use them interchangeably. And so jealousy is more so a stronger emotion than envy. And usually jealousy requires more than two people. And it can be used in friendship, it can be used in romantic relationships, it can be used in business. And so a lot of times you can see envy kind of like a blanket thing. So envy is complex, and it can be resentment, it can be longing, and it can be more so a material possession or something. And so when we look at it, there are some core components to it. But when I look at my situations, I know when I interact with people and how people interact with me, I'm like, well, if you don't want to be around me, if you don't like me, I think that's fine. And I'm going to take it like a grain of salt. I'm going to kick the dirt off my heels and keep it pushing. Because just like you said, you can keep it to yourself. And if it's not going to be constructive criticism, I believe we should try to keep the human kindness. That keyword is kind. we should move it that way. And I'll take, for instance, kind of like the situation I'm in now, with running. We have some candidates who I've been really good friends with because we all have an ultimate goal of replacing a certain individual. And I'm like, I think we all should be decent people. And I know that there should be some form of camaraderie. Yes, there's some competition, but why can't it be friendly competition? Now, everyone doesn't see it that way, and everyone has not seen it that way. And it is what it is. Now, there may be some components of envy there, and there may even be some components of jealousy there because I am the only physician running. And there are some other onlys there as the only physician and as the only African American. But I'm like, I am an American first. I just happen to be Black. And as a physician, I have knowledge that they don't have. But it is what it is. And I think that that is important when it comes to making decisions. But is that jealousy? Is that envy? That's for them to figure out.
Yeah, it is. It is. Is there any benefit at all to having jealousy as even a quality you have, or envy as a quality? Because I put the upside and the downside of jealousy. Is there even an upside to either one of those?
An upside to it? No.
The only upside I could think of comes from that expression. If you think the grass is greener on the other side, water your own lawn. So if that's like the one, it's almost like it's not a positive motivator. It's kind of like a negative motivator, but it could be like, if I'm envious that you have a whatever, I'm trying to think of what you have that you can make a mean peach cobbler, and I'm envious of that. I wish I could do it because the only thing I make a lot of are reservations. Then it might do for me to motivate myself to learn how to bake, instead of sitting in front of the TV and watching a series, one less episode, I could be in the kitchen learning how to do something that someone else does better. That's the only positive upside that I could think of. But I don't know. What do you think?
I think so, because anything that helps with self-improvement is always good. Because when you look at envy, there are some different details. I looked it up, and it was like, when it comes to envy, there are some core components, social components. There's a desire and a want. There's a component where you have feelings of inferiority, and there's the potential for malice. And that is the problem right there, because when you have the negative emotions like resentment, sadness, and even anger, and then when you have the social comparisons, and when you get into the comparison part, that can always be a problem. When you're comparing yourself to someone else, you don't want to denigrate yourself because you have this feeling that that other person may feel superior to you in some way. Like when you said me and the peach cobbler, you're like, okay, well, maybe I don't bake as well as her. And then there's that desire and the want. And the envy is fueled by a desire for what the other person has, whether it's tangible or intangible, something that you may or may not be able to grasp at. And then that feeling of inferiority. And it can lead to feelings of inadequacy within yourself. And so you may feel that you're defective, even though it's not. It's a perception within yourself, and it's something that you have to deal with and navigate. And you're not less than yourself, but you start to feel that you envy the other person. And when it comes to the potential for malice, it can escalate, and those feelings can depreciate how you feel, and it may cause you to do something.
Yeah. And that's that's not a good thing. to do that. Sorry, I just put the story up. If you think I was ignoring her while she was talking, you're wrong. I know that when I was growing up, my mom, everywhere we would go for vacation, the number one thing she would want to do is go to the richest part of that town or that city, wherever we were, and drive through, their Beverly Hills or Bel Air or whatever. And just, I would feel the green coming on, she would, oh, look at that house and look at that house. It wasn't a appreciation of how beautiful that house was. It was all green. It was, oh, I'm not going to be happy or successful until I have that. Or until, and then it was like, my dad was a professor his whole life, but she wanted more from him. She wanted him to be the dean or whatever. And so I know the downside of envy and jealousy is definitely never being enough. That perfectionistic dis-ease with what you have. And that pretty much sums up, I think, the problem with jealousy. We're going to go on break. Usually we do talk about the downside of things. And when we come back after break, we'll talk about the upside and how to harness maybe jealousy and envy in your own life, and how you can turn that energy into something that makes you happier. We need to stop for news, weather, traffic here on this NBC News station on KCAA, the station that leaves no listener behind. Don't go away. We will be right back in 2 and 2. Chuck Woolery used to say, but here it's peace in, peace out, and a word from our sponsor. So don't go away. We'll be right back on Doctors in the House with myself and
Dr. Tiffanie Tate.
Take back your life with Dr. Marissa Pei.
Hello, my name is Dr. Tiffanie Tate, and I am an American running for the U.S. House of Representatives. What is going on now is not normal. It is not normal to place submarines off the coast of Russia and tell the Russian president that they are there. That is putting our sailors in harm's way, because he can randomly drop missiles in the ocean and hit our sailors. I am a former U.S. naval officer, and I know that that is not a safe thing to do. You want someone in Congress who is going to hold him responsible for the actions that he is taking. You want someone in Congress who is going to speak up and speak out. Please check out my website at Dr. Tate for Congress and support me so that I can support you. Visit my website. Consider making a contribution. Paid for by Dr. Tate for Congress.
Take back your life with Dr. Marissa Pei.
And welcome back. You're tuned in to Take My Advice. I'm not using it. Get balanced with Dr. Marissa, the morning show here on KCAA, NBC News Radio, home to the Asian Oprah, number one talk in the IE. Thank you very much. And streaming everywhere, iHeartRadio, Spotify, and of course, my YouTube TV channel, where if you free subscribe and give me the finger, this one, not the other one, you will get access to all 1,457 podcast shows and my red carpet playlist with interviews with Halle Berry, John Travolta, Quincy Jones, and more. And my award-winning short film, So Much, all for free. And thank you so much for being with me over these 694 consecutive weeks and the almost 4 million impressions on my YouTube TV channel. And you know, I love to bring you good news, good people. And today, you can tell it is Wednesday because it's time for Doctors in the House with myself and
Dr. Tiffanie Tate.
And we are talking about the green color, otherwise known as jealousy. And we'll put in envy as well, the cousin to jealousy. And before the break, if you missed it, we were talking about the potential upside, very small upside, but what it could do. But now we're going to talk about how jealousy, you may want to harness your jealousy energy and see if we can't make ourselves feel better without feeling jealous. And I see that we have someone saying hello in our cashew gallery. Thank you to Jerry, the sorority sister of Dr. Tiffanie. Thank you for the compliment. We accept. And if you have any comments about jealousy and maybe personal experience around it, I know that I shared that at the beginning, why I picked this topic and sort of the intimate encounters that I've had. So, Dr. Tiffanie, I'm sure you have more research on this.
Yes, I do. First, let's kind of delve into jealousy, and then we'll real quick. An emotional spectrum, I'd like to think of it as if, because that's something really quick to think of. When you're thinking about jealousy, you can think of as if, some of the emotions that you can experience. A is for anger, S is for sadness, I is for insecurity, and F is for fear. False evidence appearing real. As if. And so a lot of times we can deal with those things because we don't want to deal with jealousy. But jealousy, like I said, it can be an individual with two people, or it can be with multiple people. And when you deal with jealousy, you want to first recognize it, because denial is not just a river in Egypt. It can actually exist. You want to recognize it, don't suppress it, because if you don't recognize that it exists, then you can't address it. And you want to identify the root cause of it. Because if you can identify it, then you can start building self-esteem and confidence and focus on your strengths. Because you can look at Dr. Marissa, even though I'm sure she's not truly jealous of me and making my peach cobbler. Well, maybe a tad bit, but she is an excellent speaker. She's on 5 days a week. I'm on 1 day a week. So she has all these excellent skills, and she's on the cover of multiple magazines. So she has a lot going for herself. So she can say, okay, yes, I am on 5 days a week. I have all these fabulous things going for myself. I am awesome. And these are the things that you can do for yourself to help build up your self-esteem. Try to focus on what you do have going for yourself. What are your thoughts, Doc?
Excellent point. My underlying BS, my foundation belief system, I almost said the other one, is that every single one of us, all 8 billion of us on the planet, are unique, one of a kind, wonderful. We all have unique gifts, talents, and abilities that are ours to hone and share and enjoy in this thing called life. Because of that BS belief system that I hold and walk and live and choose to believe, then I don't compare myself to other people. I compare myself to me. Have I made the most of the unique talents, gifts, and abilities that have been bestowed upon me, just like have been bestowed on you? So there is no competition. There is no temptation, unless I'm feeling if I'm that halt, right? Hungry, angry, lonely, and tired. If I'm not in my balanced, centered self, I will get sidetracked and look and compare myself to of the other person. But when I'm grounded in knowing that I am one of a kind, wonderful, that we all are that way, and the only thing I compare myself to is me, jealousy and envy go away to a place that it cannot hurt me, that cannot affect my natural good feeling well-being that is me. But as soon as I take my eyes off myself and look at others and compare, and this starts at age, I used to do research on this, like when I did career days at my kids' schools, like at what age do we start going, oh, she's smarter than me, or he's better looking than me, and oh, I wish I was more popular. It's like 10, now it's like 9, 8, where that's where we fall off the beam, is we are not keeping our eyes on ourself.
Absolutely. And I'll give you one scenario. Like I told you, after water aerobics, we get in the jacuzzi. And one person was like, the incumbent has already raised $2 million and you've only raised X amount of dollars. And I said, okay, that's fine. I'm going to do what I can, and I'm going to raise what I can. And it's not about the money raised. It's about how many votes you get. And all I can do is spread my message. And I know that they have a physician caucus and they need more physicians in the House because the House is sick and they need a doctor to fix it. And that's my slogan. And
I think that's a good slogan. I like it.
Absolutely. And they need more physicians because they need someone who understands science and who can help navigate and support people. And she's like, well, okay. I said, well, that's my slogan. And I don't think it's all about money. And I'm not about special interests. I'm about people. And I plan to support people. And as long as I do that, I'm not about my own personal interests. I'm about people. And I'm going to do that. And there's like 10 people in the race. And she's like, it's a crowded primary and you need money. I said, yes, I do. But I am going to be placing people first, and I'm going to run my race. And you lose 100% of the races you don't run. And if I win, I win. And if I lose, but at least I know I tried. And she's like, if that's going to be if that's what you're going to do, I'm like, that's what I'm going to do. But I'm going to focus on me and my race and not other people and other people's races and how much money they raise and they run. But I thought it was interesting because that's all I can do is focus on me.
Yeah, that's a very good skill to exercise and use, which Dr. Tiffany's much better equipped in administering that skill. When someone would say that to me, I probably would have said, if I look like you, I'd be miserable too. No, but it is a skill to balance. I just told you one fundamental BS I have. The other fundamental BS that keeps me okay when I get criticism is I'm not everybody's cup of tea. My 8 ways to happiness is not everybody's cup of tea. There are so many ways to use and so many avenues to take in order to feel better about your life. I'm just offering one way that may not be for everybody, and that's okay, because if I go to my default, I got to make you happy, I got to make everybody happy, I have to be approved by everybody, which is what I learned growing up to stay safe, right? Then I'm going to hurt myself, because I'm always going to be scanning the audience to see who doesn't like me. And then I focus all my attention on that one person to try to change their mind to like me, which is ridiculous, because I have 99 compliments and one insult. I should probably focus on the 99 compliments and not on that one insult. So there's a time, when to hold and when to fold. If somebody is clearly not for you, at what point do you say, thank you for your input, or That's an interesting point. I'll take that under advisement and then walk away. So that is, there's that fine line between defensively explaining and kindly allowing. Ooh, I got to write that down. Defensively explaining versus, what did I say? Kindly allowing. Kindly, I got to write that down. Okay, go.
Yeah. And I think it's important to make sure that in the midst of all these things, as people will try to come and persuade you to pursue their own interests, that you don't do that. Be true to yourself and pursue your own interests. And practice self compassion. We're compassionate to everyone else, but it's really important to practice self compassion and be open and honest with your dialogue. Like I was with that lady in the jacuzzi. I think it's important to be open and honest and not in a rude way. I wasn't rude to her. I was respectful and I held my ground. And I was like, well, thank you for your opinion, but this is what I plan to do. This is what I'm going to do. And this is how I'm going to do it. And I think it's fine. And I think it's okay. And you just need to know who you are and know how you feel.
Okay, what did I say again? I got the kindly allowing. What was the first?
I can't with you today.
Do you remember? I had to rewind myself.
Yes. You said you're going to kindly allow and
versus, see the first part. What was the first part?
Yeah, I was so busy into my stuff and I'm moving on.
All right, whatever it was. Thank God this is on podcasted, so I can listen to my own brilliance.
Right.
I do want to say one thing though, that there is a caveat that I cannot explain or bury all feedback. So even if I don't like what is being said, right? So that woman clearly wasn't, trying to help you necessarily. She could say, well, I'm just being pragmatic or I'm just being realistic or whatever. And when I coach people who are, I call them Penelope, the people pleasers, right? I've had that too. I used to have a Penelope where everything was trying to make everybody else happy, no matter, at what expense to me. So how do you balance that? If someone gives you the same feedback as two other people, so if three people say the same thing 3 times, then that may be something for you to look at to say, is this useful constructive criticism that's going to make me not perfect, not even better, but that I will reach a wider group of people than I am now. So if I'm consistently pissing off with something that I'm saying, then I know that that's something I need to look at, because my intent is not to piss you off. But if 3 people are being pissed off by the same thing 3 times that I'm saying, then I might want to look at that. It's not jealousy. It is their opinion of how you are being able to communicate with them or not. So if my intent is to be lovingly communicative and you hear that from me and I'm missing the mark and instead I'm pissing people off, I want to know.
Right. Absolutely. And I think that when you talk to people, it's important to have your boundaries. Know, like the song says, know when to hold, know when to fold, know when to walk away. And sometimes you really do have to run. You're like, nope, I don't even want that in my spirit. And so I think communication is key. And it's always key. Knowing how to actively interact, know how to actively listen, and know how to actively speak up and speak out for yourself.
Yeah. and I remembered it. It's the fine line between defensively explaining versus kindly allowing.
There we go.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. That's a skill. That's a new skill going in my happy 88 book, my next one. It is just this toolkit of things that you can, when you think people are feeling jealous. If you're feeling jealous, let's break this down. If I'm feeling jealous, then I know that I'm judging myself on not having something that someone else has that I want. Okay. So I have a choice of breaking them down and saying, well, that's what is that word? Nepo baby. They're a Nepo baby because their parents are in the industry, blah, blah, blah. Or they had an infusion of cash that I don't have, or they didn't have it difficult when they were young, or blah, 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 blah. I have a choice to pull them down, break them down, uh, uh, be resentful against them for their success. That's jealousy, envy, not good, right? Not useful. I can say, if they can do it, and I'm sure that they're not an overnight success, I'm sure they've had their sets of learning and failures as well, missed takes, not mistakes, missed takes. So, let me use them as a role model or a beacon of light to know that that's where I'm headed and that's where I'd like to be. And it helps fuel and shape my desires and fill out, as Abraham Hicks says, fill out the spaces of what I want more of, so I can focus on that and not them in a negative way. Does that make sense?
Absolutely. And I think one important thing is that everybody can be successful in their own way, and we can support one another. And I think that's important as Americans and as people. And there is this saying, they used to say that a lot of times people get really competitive, like crabs in a bucket. And if you've ever seen crabs in a bucket, they don't want any other crabs to climb out. So if you see a crab climbing out, nope, they pull them back in. We want to keep them in the bucket. And so, yes,
I didn't know that. I've always
yes,
heard of the crabs in the bucket, but I didn't
yes,
understand it. Wow. Thank
yes.
you, Dr.
Yes.
Tiffany.
So we don't
Wow.
want to be crabs in a bucket. How about we uplift? We lift as we climb and we support one another and we help each other out. And everyone needs someone at one point or another. Let's not have that crabs in a bucket mentality. Let's not pull each other down. Let's uplift.
And
Let's,
that's jealousy. And that is
yes,
exactly what the definition of jealousy is
yes.
crabs in a
It's crabs
bucket.
in a bucket. And
Wow.
Oliver Stone has a great quote, and he says, "Never underestimate the power of jealousy and the power of envy to destroy." Never
Mm,
underestimate that. And that's what it does.
mm,
It can destroy friendships, and it can destroy relationships, and it can destroy work projects. It can destroy a lot because
mhm,
it involves a lot of control, and it involves a lot of manipulation to a certain extent, because a lot of times you want people to do things the way you want it, or you want to be involved, or you want something from someone else.
mhm,
And I think it's important for us to support one another, be happy for one another, and all be successful in one way or another.
mhm, mhm. Absolutely. Wow, that like comes full circle to my opening comments that, why is it that you almost feel this sense of yay when people who have done well suffer some setback or something and they fall, and it's this horrific part of our humanness, I guess. Definitely not perfect, but that we can harness that and not let it show. And it is a muscle, not
Mhm.
to celebrate people's demise, but it's similar to that roadkill thing, right? Where you shouldn't look at it, but you still do. I think not to beat ourselves up when we have that feeling, but like you said, to stop and examine our own, is it kind? Is it true? Is it necessary? Do we need to comment on that? Do we need to secretly celebrate about that? No. To work the muscle of not being a crab,
Mhm.
the rat race. I have never understood why people want to what's that word, propagate, continue the rat race. I don't want dog eat dog. I don't want to be in a rat race. I don't want to be climbing for every one slot above you in a hierarchy, there's 100 people that don't make that slot. And now you have an organization with 99 pissed off people and one happy person. For me, that's why hierarchies and organizations are just like set up to fail. Why don't we have organizations where everybody is a common vision of success, whatever that success is? We're doing something to help people and we're making money. That is money energy to continue to help making money for, that purpose. It's like this whole, our world is based on this dog eat dog rat race, which has led us to where we are now. One winner and how many losers? And it doesn't have to be like that. We can, there's more than enough food so that no child has to go starving. None. There's more than enough resources on the planet that we can all have a great life. But because we have this mentality, we can't do it because we're still in this lack and limitation. If I have, then you don't. Or if you have, then I don't. So I'm going to fight you to get what you have. Come on, folks. Life is like breathing. When I breathe, I don't take anything from you, and vice versa.
Absolutely. And I think it's important that we focus on ourselves, but support each other. And I think we all just have to remember the kindness in humankind and lift as we climb. And
Is that your final
is
word?
my final word.
Good job. Well, I hope you've enjoyed this discussion on jealousy and being green and watering your own lawn. And we're always happy to be with you every Wednesday morning, live at 9. Thanks for joining us today. Dr. Tiffanie, always a pleasure. It's always about balance, peace in, peace out, world peace through inner peace. I did want to make a quick Asian Oprah giveaway. I have tickets to a fabulous event. It's going to be at the W Hotel on August 28th. I know you're busy, Dr. Tiffanie, that day, but as an influencer, I have the means to share free tickets. I think they're worth $70. So if you're at all interested in it's a day of, it's brought to you by Modern Day Life, and it's a What She Said event. So if you're interested, message me. I'll get you the promo code, or just go to Doc Balance on Instagram and scroll. There's a little post there for that event, and you can get the direct. Oh, my link tree. It has the link for you to do that. All right. I forgot to do that during the break. Thanks, Dr. Tiffanie. Now take us out.
Now go and have the best day ever.